Good morning. February 16th, 2023. Once again, it is a Thursday. How many? Once again, it is a Thursday. Once again, it is a Thursday. Once again, it is a Thursday. Thought I had all my ducks in a row. I guess not. I've told you time and time again that Thursdays seem to happen every week. I think we got a couple of jokes in the chat room this morning to start us off. I'm going to go bring that up on this screen over here. Nick Boverman, I woke up laughing. I must have slept funny. And then, let's see, Brian Lightfoot. Yesterday, a clown held the door open for me. I thought it was a nice gesture. All right. So that gets us started with a laugh. On the sad side, Mike Paradin, a common participant in the chat room for Carrie Holzman's show and my show and Ken Stout's show, passed away on the 14th, I believe that was, age 68, apparently. Yeah, that sounds right based upon the birth date range. So hearts and prayers go out to the family and all those who feel loss with Mike Paradin's passing. I believe that he had been telling us sometime in chat of his health struggles. So, best wishes to his family in their time of loss. Now, moving to where do I want to go start to? Hello to everybody in chat. Mike Wojcik comes in with hit the like button, everybody. I'm not big on asking for that myself. Now, I want to go back here to the chat room from February 14th. Yesterday's, what do we call it, premiere video was based upon the link that Wintermute had provided about the fractional CISO. So that was yesterday. I'm going to move on past that. But Benny Yam in the chat room had asked a question, and I don't think anybody picked up on it. I'm sorry that we didn't get to you, Benny Yam. It says on Windows 10 Pro, I can't install software on it. This app can't installed in this PC. He's got it between quotes, but I don't think that's quite a precise quote. What is the problem while Windows Defender is turned off? So we need more information to go on, but I thought, okay, what does ChatGPT tell us with just that information? So I'll come over here and show you what ChatGPT came up with. It is this one, and I come up here and I just did, well, I did a copy and paste, but then I edited it to fix a little bit of the grammar. And I'm telling ChatGPT, I can't install software on a Windows 10 Pro. I get a message, this app can't installed in this PC. I have Windows Defender turned off and still can't install. What is the problem? Here's what ChatGPT responded with. One of the questions is being asked around in regards to ChatGPT is this going to be a replacement for IT technicians? Absolutely not. I don't buy that for a second. Part of the reason why I don't buy that is because I'm aware of airline pilots. I used to meet weekly with airline pilots who would talk about their ongoing training and about their in-cockpit controls. And airplanes can pretty much the airliners can pretty much take off and fly and land almost completely unattended. But there has to be pilots in the seat, pilot and co-pilot, that know the systems inside and out, know the airplanes inside and out, and can be in charge and can overrule the computers when they need to. We're not anywhere close to being able to replace humans and IT technicians included. So this wasn't real great of a response, I didn't think, because it never even brought up the idea of S mode. Check the system requirements, disable user account control, check for malware or antivirus software, check the Windows firewall settings, try running the installer as administrator. If none of these steps work, what I'd like to, as a live IT technician, I want more information. What apps are you trying to install? Did you used to be able to install app? Is this your computer or are you working on somebody else's computer? Give us some more history of this. Is this a newly built computer? to try to narrow down what's going on. And most specifically, what is the app you're trying to install, and then somebody else try to install it? Can you install it on different computers that are in your purview? So I'd have a lot of questions for this person. So if you're around Ben EM, yeah, please engage with us more. Love to work with you on that and help you with it. And it's also a learning experience for us. Taking a glance over at chat to be sure you're not telling me something's going wrong. I see a couple other jokes I think that are coming in there. I have a lot of other content to turn to. Let's see, do I want to go first to channel comments or the emails that I have flagged for today? I'll go to, 6 of one, half dozen of other. I'll go to the emails. This is an email that did not come from somebody watching the channel as far as I know, but is a little bit spooky because when I had gone to Shannon Morse video that I told about in our recent show, I don't know if it was yesterday's premiere or before that, but she mentioned delete me, and I went and looked at that, and then right after that I get an email from this Storage Guardian, and it includes delete me in there, but this is services that'll go out there and find what information providers have your data on them and go request that they delete them. And it talks in here about you could go do that yourself on each of them, but it's time consuming. These ones cost money. And this actually seems to be an email from Storage Guardian trying to market their services towards me. How did they get to me? Did they get to me just because I poked around a little bit on that delete me? This down here says you're getting this email because you joined us at an event. Wrong. No, I didn't. Or signed up to our website. No, I did not. I don't recollect having any interaction with Storage Guardian. So it kind of feels a little slimy to me. Like I was clicking around and things off of Shannon Morse's video. I'm not saying that could have come from YouTube. YouTube seeing that I went pursuing that, or Google, something like that. I don't know. Then let's go on past that because I don't need to go any further about that. Then Brian here has 1, 2, 3 emails regarding the political persuasions of ChatGPT. And he says that he tested this, as it was shown on that show. Write a poem about Donald Trump and ChatGPT will decline, saying that it strives to be politically neutral. Well, it did work for me. I asked ChatGPT to give me a poem about Trump, and it worked. Brian and I had a couple other communications back and forth, so I'll give a quick glance at that. Let's see, it was, where is it? Oh, and it just titled it as new chat. It didn't even give a title. See, all these other titles of these chats that I've done have given me titles. So I went looking at that a little bit. I'm not going to read through these poems, but write a poem about Joseph Biden. This poem, I believe, is different than the poem that Brian was given. So it does appear to be unique. And then I got a poem about Donald Trump. And some people might read through this and say it's biased against him, but I don't think so. I think it says things about him that he kind of would take pride in. Loud and brash and rare. I think, yeah, Donald would be fine with that. Man emerged with golden hair. Some people could perceive it as negative to him, but I don't think so much. Then I tried, well, what about other Republicans and so on? How do they write about them? And this seemed to be pretty complimentary. Now, if you want to read through these, you can go back and pause the video and read through them. I'm not going to do that. And I did one about Hillary Clinton to see what it would say about her. And it came up with poems also for Bill Clinton, Richard Nixon. So how does ChatGPT tell some people that I want to stay politically neutral, but then for me, it gave me all this stuff? No, I don't know. That's a little strange. And one of the takeaways from that is to say that broader than ChatGPT, technical things at all, anything in life really, when you experience it a certain way, that doesn't mean it's the way it's going to be for everybody else or in every other circumstance. So when you try a certain feature on a certain software, a certain operating system, whatever, and it behaves a certain way, it's not safe to say this is the way that feature operates, always. Your mileage may vary, kind of thing. Then let's get back to, where was I at? I was on the emails, right? So let's see what else I wanted to talk about there. That was ChatGPT. Noir Badira. I think I can display this email. Yeah, because it doesn't show his email address, which I think he'd be okay with, because it seems like, I think he's in, Noir's Hardware. So he's in the business. Says he'd like to have a Zoom meeting with me about RoboForm. So we're going to do that tomorrow. We have communicated further in email, and we're going to do that tomorrow. So I have a couple of, another email of his just confirming that. And then I have up here the link for the Mike Paradin tribute, which is pinned at the top of my chat. So if you go into the chat up here in this blue at the top, it's the nice tribute that Ken Stout created in remembrance of Mike Paradin. So if you'd like to watch that, it's very short, mainly showing pictures of Mike, and you can see that there. Now here, this chat isn't up to date because that was when I popped out the chat, and it's not refreshed. So can I refresh it there? No. Let's restore chat here. Bring it back in, then I'll pop it out again. I know, and that's all blurry because my quality, well, it's showing 1080. There it goes. That's still not showing chat. What's going on there? Pop out chat again. There's no redirect. There's no show from Ken. Yeah, there's the rest of the chat. Like button, good morning, Serendipity shows up again. I'd like to see GPT build a computer, then I'll be impressed. There you go. And I think I'm gonna try to do another recorded video later today. I'll just publish it as a recorded video on something else that ChatGPT was drastically wrong about. I have nailed ChatGPT, whatever it is, to the wall in this video that I like to do. Black Serendipity asked what was with Mike Paradin. He passed away a couple days ago. I'm not sure of his specific health issues, if that's what you're asking. Did similar video similar to that, I believe LTT did. Linus Tech Tips. Trust is a two-way street when dealing with clients. Without trust, there is nothing. Longtime friend of mine has shown that they do not trust me. Oh, that's a sad thing. Let's see. As to how, looking through this more. Oh, he had lung cancer. All right. I think we're fairly caught up there. Black Serendipity says condolences to family. So then let's go on to the next thing that I had here. I covered all of those email things I had flagged. So then let's go into channel comments. Greg M., I'm going to be doing something else with the LastPass breach, but there's some things here that I want to give some corrections on. I think that's going to be included in the recorded video. Because that's where ChatGPT did a major faux pas. So I'm not going to read through that right now. Peter Dobson says, hi, Doug. Since you're talking about passwords, I would like to have you address the issue of strong passwords that include multi-language phrases or sentences as a possible counter to dictionary attacks. Can you offer a response if you think it's a good way to counter dictionary attacks this way? I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Yes, I do like that, but I have a little different take on it. I'm not trying to do multiple language phrases, but that if you have that in your repertoire, you know other languages, that would be good. But the thing that I find most significant is the length of the password. So I will commonly use 3 or 4 words chained together that don't make a lot of sense, but then separate them with numbers or symbols so that they're not straight dictionary words. Now, the reason why I'm okay with the dictionary words is the length, because if you have the length of a password, it just makes it astronomically more difficult for a password cracking software, dictionary based or not, to brute force that. Well, okay, brute force isn't really a dictionary attack. Dictionary is using words from the dictionary, chaining them together, but then if you separate them with a mix of uppercase and lowercase and symbols, and one thing I've done sometimes is in some arenas, I don't completely trust even the password managers, where I'll have passwords in there, but then I'll have it recorded somewhere else. But in that somewhere else, I will put in wildcards where I'll have maybe the first and last letter of a word that I'm going to know what that word was, but I'll put X's in between the first and the last character, but I'll have multiple words and I'll have numbers or symbols mixed in there too. The length of the password is the biggest advantage. And if you're using words that you can, when you need to go be able to type the password in, because sometimes I've needed to do that on a cell phone where I find that it's more of a nuisance to activate or open the password manager, because my password manager master password is more difficult than the password for the account that I'm trying to get into. Ay, caramba. So, but anyway, I could go look up where my reminder notes are about the password, and I see first and last letters of a few words with what numbers and symbols that I have mixed in there. And that's what I feel really, really good about. Now, the dictionary password hacking, you're dealing with somebody who already has your account ID or the name for a particular account. Now they can get that off of the dark web, pretty commonplace to get that. And then are they specifically attacking you? Are they just going after your account, or do they have a whole database of accounts that they're going after? That I believe that is a more common case scenario. So if your password is harder for them to do a dictionary attack on, they're going to get through to the other accounts and put their energies into that. Because once they break into account, then they give those credentials on to the next level of dark web criminal who is actually going to try to commit the crime and steal whatever they're trying to steal from you in that account. So unless you are a really high value target, the idea that they are committing their computer resources to trying to brute force a password using, well, brute force or dictionary attacks or whatever they call the rest of the attacks. If your long password is in place with symbols, uppercase, lowercase, and so on, they gotta really be serious about going after you. And if they're that serious going after you, they're probably going to get you one way or another. So that's my responses there, Peter. That, I wasn't reading from a script there. I think I comfortably covered my thoughts on that. Matthew Barnes says, something Jeff Hallish, former show host on the Podnets network, said was, there are two types of companies, those that have been hacked and those who will be hacked. No, those who don't know they've been hacked. I love that quote. Absolutely love that quote, because I think there are a lot of companies out there who have been hacked, possibly my clients. And we just don't know it. We don't know it until the criminals do something that makes it obvious enough, but more likely the criminals are going to do something that we can't really highly suspect that came due to something in our environment being hacked. It could be our computers in my clients' offices, or it could be accounts that they have on other people's systems that have been hacked that those companies don't know they've been hacked. So how much crime occurs out there that is never tracked back to a hacking occurrence, and the hack is still live and running? I think that's a very possible and likely scenario. So I got through my channel comments. I got through those emails that are flagged. I don't have anything date flagged from my, let's see, from my list here, I don't think. Nope, nothing there for February 16th. So, wow, I got through all that. Oh, Rick Lakes comes in again with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Rick. I almost called you Rick. Rick. Yeah, thank you. Let's see, where am I? Try to get back to where I was. Oh, that highlight right there. And then how many chat participants tend to use the same password on generic website? Be honest. Now, I did peek at some of my LastPass and RoboForm saved passwords on accounts that I didn't even remember having. You know, there's some kind of service on the web somewhere it's not an account where I have money or where I can buy things or where people can do anything of significance. And I found some passwords in there that was very, very old back in the day when I was using a common password among what I considered to be low security sites. But I wouldn't do that anymore. I know I'm completely done with that. It's behind me. Now, I did the premiere that I did yesterday, I actually showed the password that I was using on boston.com. And I was telling myself that I was going to go back and change that. Do you think I did? Do you think I went back and changed that? Or could one of you right now go back and find what that account credential was and sign into that site, and you could post a reply or response to some article that they have on their system pretending to be me? I wonder if somebody's going to try that. Interesting idea. Thanks, Doug. That gives me something to chew on from Peter. Let's see. I think that was about the passwords with multiple languages and length and so on. And I also have oftentimes gone to this site, How Secure Is My Password? How secure is my password? And click here and type in a password. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it's actually a different site now. It's at security.org. I always forget that. And type in a password, put in some symbols and stuff, and had this. So this is how long is it going to take a computer to brute force this password. Now, I just did the Liberace thing on the keyboard. I don't know what in the world I typed, and I threw in some symbols and some numbers. But when you just add one more character, see right now, 200 duodecillion years, add one more character, now it's 22 tredecillion years. Of course, that's a really long password. But if you start out way back here, and if you just type, let's see, help system. I just typed the word help systems. That's 58 minutes. But look at the number of characters there. Now, if I backspace 1 and put a number there, that's 1 day instead of 58 minutes. If I backspace 2 characters and put a number and then put in a dollar symbol, 1 month. So you put in some different characters other than alphabetic, and it increases the difficulty horrendously, exponentially, right? So 1 more dollar symbol, 4 years. 1 more capital D, 34,000 years. So it doesn't take much more length to just massively increase the difficulty. And if they break through somebody else's account before yours, a bunch of them, then you might not have the trouble. Now, this is 34,000 years if I think what they've done here is if they take one high-powered computer focused on that account, takes that long. But typically, the way I understand the way the dark web works, deep web, whatever you want to call it, the criminal element, is they'll take a database that is available for purchase on the dark web of account names and probably websites that they're known to have accounts on, and then they'll put that into a computer and it just runs through them, and they're probably just first getting the ones that are fairly simple. If they can recognize somebody that would be a high value target, or maybe if they get a list of account credentials from a investment site, a company that manages investments, where you can buy and sell stock and such, boy, that'd be a high value target, right? How much are they doing penetration testing on their systems? Well, I think pretty regular, because they would have to comply with FINRA, which is going to require at least, I suspect, annual penetration testing. Okay, now where do I want to go? Where was I even at? Oh, chat room. Brian Lightfoot, nobody can hack my password. I can't even remember what it is. Yeah. Well, I think everybody around here knows that's not true. Just because you can't remember it, it's totally hackable, depending upon how difficult it is. Zavi Manor, you can add there are companies that were hacked but did not publish the hack. Absolutely. It is voluntary. Well, they're required to, but their compliance to that, how well do they comply with that? And that can vary depending upon the size of the company, for sure. Hellos, I agree that a hacker will spend more time on a person or company if their data is worth the trouble. If you're just a normal person who does not have major data to go after, they will leave you alone. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, here's my nightmare, and I'm kind of intrigued. If I were to actually hire a penetration tester to go after one of my clients, with my client's permission, of course, it just scares me because I'm not a security expert. We don't have a security department. All these big companies that have security departments, and the things that I'm learning on that tryhackme.com site, where they have variety of departments within their IT security branch of the company that are constantly fighting against infiltrations. If they're constantly fighting against infiltrations so commonly, what's happening among my clients and all the other small to medium businesses out there? Are the criminal hacker types not attracted to that level of company? That could be. Well, this is one of the things why I'm really interested in this tryhackme.com, because I want to get to a point where I can do the penetration testing or discover the holes in my clients' offices. Now, part of me says my clients may not be vulnerable because we don't have open ports the way the big companies do. The big companies, they're more likely going to have ports in their system available for people to connect from the outside because they need that for their business operations. My level of clients that I support, we don't have anything open to the outside intentionally. So there lies my, boy, I wasn't intending to talk about that today. 100,000 years for one of my passwords. Oh, I have some passwords that are up into the quintillions, those weird names, easily. I have passwords up that high. Mine came up as 15 billion years. Bobby Warren, hello. AJ, Al J, seems suspect. None of us will live a gazillion years for someone to crack our reasonably long and complex passwords. Now, one of the things about these tests here is what computer are they using to do that calculation? And the criminal cracking networks have botnets. I have come across computers in my clients' offices that I suspected as being in a botnet because I would see their utilization go way up at unreasonable explanation with no explanation, no reasonable. It didn't make sense. and I figured they're probably on a botnet because the botnets are when the criminals have access to be able to take over people's computers when they are not in use, when they're not in use by the end user. So you're sleeping, you leave your computer on, and they could be serving in a botnet. I'd like to get a handle on how to check on that a little bit easier and better than what I already know. And I'm not prepared to talk about what I already know because I would have to think it over a little bit. So when they have a botnet, that reduces the amount of time that it takes because you divide those numbers. Anything financial, I use long password, bingo, two-factor authentication. Thank you for mentioning that, Mike. And that's a thing about that last pass breach, why I wasn't really too worried about it. because all of my accounts that have any kind of consequence at all do have two-factor authentication. So once they get access, once they download that hash database from LastPass or wherever else, then they have to set about trying to crack those passwords. Then if they can crack the password, they try to sign into the account. If you have the two-factor authentication, they still can't get into that account. Now, there are ways to get around two-factor authentication, but that takes a far more targeted attack. I mean, it's things like cloning your cell phone. Yeah, that's going to be very, very targeted, right? Phishing emails, social engineering is one form of attacks. If you're really interested in how secure your password is, I might suggest Steve Gibson's GRC research. Here's a spot for testing passwords. Yeah, he has a way to test passwords too, and he has a way to create secure passwords on his site. And now, in his method and this method, how do they technically operate? I have no idea the comparison between them. Have not looked into that. But thank you for giving us that, Lon Doug. It's great to kind of understand the complexity of brute force attack and the possibility of numbers to be cracked. There's also interesting tools there, plus free explanations on the subject that you're looking into. Now, on this other video that I'm intending to record probably today, I'm going to talk a little bit about some other information that Steve provided about the LastPass hack, the LastPass data breach. I think that's good for today. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. I'm going to look through the chat room after I end as usual. Tomorrow's session is going to be with, I forgot his name. I told it earlier. But anyway, he's going to come in on Zoom. We're going to have a face-to-face conversation about whatever I said that was going to be about. Oh, that was about that password tool, right? RoboForm. Yeah. I don't know what he wants to talk about. I don't know if he's going to be critical of it or he's going to like it or he's going to have questions of me about it. So please be ready to participate in the chat room because it may be well beyond my expertise level. But I think that'll be a fun thing to do. All right. Here's my email address. You can send me a question by email. You can put it into the chat room on any live stream. You can put it into a comment on any video. And have a great day, everybody. I hope that was useful. Goodbye.